Everybody, welcome to the True Life News Show. Guys, this is the bombshell news. We told you it was coming. Huge announcements. I'm about to tell you in a moment, guys. I can't even believe I'm going to be reporting this. I hope you're ready. Go ahead, pull out the popcorn because this is about to be real. Not only do we have some big Doge savings to reveal, Trump's dream team is growing big time. And Trump is doing what everyone thought impossible, but he not only has made this amazing UK trade deal, he's slowed down national debt growth by 92%. But guys, the bombshell news, we actually have video evidence of Pam Bondi at a restaurant in DC talking about the FBI Epstein files to a random stranger that approached her. And all this is on video, guys. This is going to get crazy. I don't know what's going to happen, but Trump is putting more people into his dream team. Pam Bondi, we'll get into that in just a moment, has now been caught on video talking openly about the Epstein files. But I want to say this first. President Donald Trump is adding to the dream team, baby. It's not enough to have Stephen Miller, Elon Musk, Scott Besson, and the rest of them, J.D. Vance, but who he wanted to put as the U.S. attorney, the Republican rhinos would not push through. So you know who he's brought through? Our friend Judge Shapiro is going to be acting as interim U.S. attorney in D.C., and he's now moving Ed Martin to be over and leading the weaponization working group at the DOJ. Trump is putting in his patriots, his MAGA people, his loyalists to clean house, clean the deep state out, one corrupt federal official at a time with his own MAGA people. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But I want to get into this, guys. Attorney General Pam Bondi was covertly recorded on April 28th, revealing previously undisclosed information about the Epstein files regarding tens of thousands of videos containing underage minors to a complete stranger in a DC restaurant. Guys, this is big. Something's going to happen with Pam Bondi because this should never have happened. On top of that, we got to bring in some good news, guys. Trump's Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, has removed the Biden-Harris so-called Digital Equity Act, which is totally unconstitutional. But this is a woke handout that was based upon race and was illegal. Trump said this $2.5 billion giveaway is now being immediately ended and given back to the taxpayers in the form of the Doge savings, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And we just said Trump is moving Ed Martin to be the new director of the Weaponization Working Group at the DOJ, the Associate Deputy Attorney General, and a pardon attorney, guys. This is huge. Got so much bombshell breaking news. Holy smokes, guys. This is going to be a big show. Hope you're ready. But I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers, all of our viewers. Guys, we could not do this without you. This is all because of you. If you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family here at True Life News. We want you. Hit that subscribe button so we can take care of you every day with the top news. I want to say thank you to everybody that is a member of the channel and to everybody that gives a super chat donation. Angela Broom and Michael Hendricks, show them some love in the chat, guys. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button, it really does help us out so much with the channel. But again, guys, to recap, Pam Bondi has been caught on tape talking about undisclosed information about the Epstein files. This is bad, guys. Trump has added Judge Shapiro as an interim U.S. attorney in D.C. He's also moved Ed Martin to be the new director of Weaponization Working Group at the DOJ. So much breaking news to get into tonight. Law and Order is coming, baby. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. This is awesome. Check it out.
Law and Order is making a comeback, but the media won't like who's being held accountable. A dozen swanky D.C. restaurants just got iced, including Chef Jeff's. Who owns that? Well, that would be Norah O'Donnell's husband. Some of the other owners are getting a little nervous about the feds sniffing around.
It's very concerning. The employees are very scared. We're worried about some of them not coming back to work.
Wow.
And just a general panic amongst the people that it affects.
Trump's just doing what Biden wouldn't. keeping our country safe and stopping migrants from keeping wages low.
Law and order,
An
baby.
illegal who Trump booted in April. He was just arrested in Brazil for plotting to kill Lady Gaga and her fans at a concert in Rio de Janeiro. Stateside, Venezuelan gangbangers attacked cops in Times Square. Eric Adams wants Homeland to toss them. They're not slowing down. Bondi says agents just made the biggest fentanyl bust in DEA history, which brought down dozens of Sinaloa cartel members.
They seized 3 million fentanyl pills in that raid, 49 firearms, and almost $5 million in cash was seized as a result of this raid. 6 of them were illegal aliens, all of them Sinaloa cartel members, worst of the worst, and Donald Trump took them off the streets and saved countless lives.
While Trump's team's cracking down on criminal illegals, Congress is hauling sanctuary state governors to the Capitol to testify. But before that happens, Kristi Noem's taking the fight to JB Back Ribs' home turf.
President Trump has been focused on making sure that we're going after the worst of the worst, going after those who are perpetuating violence against American citizens. And Governor Pritzker has created a sanctuary here for those criminals and invited them here with free health care, free housing, free assistance, and facilitated them being protected from being brought to justice. We need to return to law and order, and we need to put people first. Let's work together to protect the American people.
Guys, do you see this? They're literally using taxpayer benefits to try to direct and invite illegal immigrants into their state. But guys, I want to show you this because this is the huge breaking news. It just came out literally 10 minutes ago, guys. That's how breaking it is. That Attorney General Pam Bondi was covertly recorded on April 28th, revealing previously undisclosed information about the Epstein regarding tens of thousands of videos of minors to a complete stranger in a DC restaurant. Guys, I'm not going to play the video because they could, this person I know protects their videos big time, and they do not like when other people use their videos. But look, this is her in the restaurant, guys, talking about it. Look at the text. This is huge. So let me know your thoughts. I don't know what's going to happen. Could this potentially get her kicked out of her position? She should never been in a restaurant talking about the Epstein files. Like, this is bad, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Because, again, we want law and order, but dang it. It just looks bad. Let me know your thoughts.
The feds just aren't focused on the border. The DOJ and FBI just arrested over 200 pedophiles.
These depraved human beings, if convicted, will face the maximum penalty in prison, some life. We will find you, we will arrest you, and we will charge you. If you are online targeting a child, you will not escape us.
If you harm our children, you will be given no sanctuary. There is no place we will not come to hunt you down. There is no place we will not look for you. And there is no cage we will not put you in should you do harm to our children.
The DOJ is working overtime to make sure these creeps face the music. Even death won't give you a free pass from justice. Bondi says the FBI is reviewing thousands of pieces of evidence related to the Epstein files.
Right there, guys.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going through that.
Democrats in D.C. say Americans need to hit the streets and fight. And we're starting to see some action. In New Jersey,
this is crazy.
An angry horde tried to bust up a bunch of illegals out of an ICE detention center. Even the mayor showed up to pick the lock.
Guys, do you see this stuff? Guys, if you appreciate the truth, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, we literally have people like the mayor coming to try to break out illegals that are in our country that are literally not citizens taking taxpayer benefits, guys. You cannot make this up. They are going as far as they can go. I think it's upsetting because there's a lot of American citizens, especially seniors, that need help. And these people are saying, no, let's give it to these illegals. Let's not focus on our seniors or our kids. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Check this out.
After that failed, the protest turned into a concert.
No fear, no
my goodness.
In Nashville, a crowd mobbed a bus filled with criminal illegals and demanded ICE open the doors.
Wow.
Emptying the prisons isn't what most people had in mind when there was a call to action, but who knows? Purple hair and masks, they'll show up anywhere. Years ago, the left protested Ann Coulter because she pushed their buttons. Now they're protesting Riley Gaines because she doesn't want to undress in front of men. Half a dozen people were arrested at Portland State yesterday. Watch.
Get his out of here, because he can get his ass whooped right now in front of y'all. So I catch you in Vancouver when we can look up in the street. Because you's a and if one of y'all beat your mother.
You know, guys, when people act like this, you can see he's looking at the camera. All I can think of is, what do they have a job? Are they contributing to society? Are they doing things positive in their life? Because all these they're trying to do is get attention. And guys, I mean, I see somebody in the chat that put, why is it always bombshell news? Let me tell you this. When Pam Bondi gets caught at a DC restaurant speaking to a stranger who they say is a stranger talking about the Epstein files, I think that validates bombshell news. There is so much stuff that is happening. This is what people wanted, especially the news, because this draws people's eyes, it draws people's attention. But we are revealing so much breaking news. This is nuts. This should never have happened. What you're seeing on the screen is about as bad as it gets. And it makes my heart hurt because I want Pam Bondi to be there. But dang it, you don't go to a dang restaurant and talk about the Epstein files when it hasn't even been released to the public about what you're talking about, all these tens of thousands of videos. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Sorry, cracker. Step back and piece of
Trantifa's been running wild nationwide, getting get-out-of-jail-free cards from Soros-funded DAs. So obviously, when there's no consequences, they're going to push the boundaries. Last night, a group of armed Arab Spring breakers took over the University of Washington in Seattle. Police retreated off campus. School buildings were invaded.
to the police!
You can be protested.
Wow.
Do not interfere with these officers.
To the police!
Do not get in their way.
Abolish the police! Every cop dead is a victory for the resistance!
Guys, I'm telling you, I wish that these people that say this stuff, they would honestly, don't call 911. If somebody ever tries to come at you, don't call 911. Don't call the police, because these people that risk their lives on the line are officers or are military members or servicemen or servicewomen. And when you say these things, when somebody tries to attack you, don't call the police. When you need somebody who to come and help you out because you got in a car wreck, don't call the police. It always sickens me that they make them to be out the bad guys when all they're trying to do is just keep our streets safe. Taking over campuses, guys. How crazy is this? I gotta go. Like a lot of this stuff, guys. I'm gonna show you this real again. This was released by the O'Keefe Media Group. Attorney General Pam Bondi was covertly recorded on April 28th, revealing previously undisclosed information about the Epstein regarding tens of thousands of videos of minors to a complete stranger in a DC restaurant. Yesterday, the AG made an almost identical statement publicly after O'Keefe Media provided a quote of what she said in a request for comment. So this is the video, guys. I cannot play it because if I play it, I promise you, like these people are protective over their videos and they'll take my video down. So we're just showing you, this is her on the screen here. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. I got to pull this over. Okay. One second. Let me make it smaller. Right here. You can see her on the screen and she's talking about it has the text. And then she goes out and says this, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Because look, anonymous source, did you know when the Epstein files are going to get released? We hope soon. The FBI has been on them. Okay, any dates? No, what know is though there are tens of thousands of videos and it's all with minors. So FBI has to go through every single one of them. Guys, you don't talk, to me, it's so dumb. You don't talk about that stuff in a restaurant. And what gets even crazier is what you're about to hear next, guys, because this is probably one of the biggest scandals ever coming from remember the 300,000 lost children? Guys, listen to this, guys. I'm telling you, I'm bringing all this breaking news. If you appreciate it, let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Thank you, Natalie. It's always a pleasure to be with you. Yeah, it is staggering. As you know, and your audience is well aware of, Joe Biden lost over 300,000 unaccompanied migrant children. And now it's up to the Trump administration to find those kids. Sadly, they're really struggling with doing just that. HSI, according to my source, has only been able to locate about 5% of the 100,000 kids that they've been looking for. Now, I reached out to DHS on this and to see if they had any matching statistics, and they kind of did confirm it, telling me that they were able to reconnect about 5,000 unaccompanied migrant children to a guardian so far. So again, that's just 5%. Now, if you're wondering why that is, well, unfortunately, the Biden administration didn't seem to care when it came to verifying who they were handing these children off to. And we know that. We've heard this before. Whistleblowers came forward to report that. But sadly, nobody really did much about it. As you just mentioned, we have a lot of rhinos in the Senate, and they look the other way on this issue. So what DHS and HSI is dealing with right now is they've been given fraudulent addresses, and it's in regards to where those children were going to be sent to when they did some digging and tried to check up on these kids. Well, in a lot of cases, these addresses didn't even exist. There's no houses there. It was something simple that the Biden administration could have looked into, but they decided not to. And I'm also told by my sources that a lot of these sponsors were poorly vetted by the Biden regime. But it's really not surprising, Natalie. I mean, you and I have spoken about it. We knew what was happening for a very long time now.
Guys, this breaks my heart when I'm hearing you, but I want you to hear the truth about what the heck is actually happening. And I want everybody to know when it comes to the video about Pam Bondi, guys, we're only showing you a small clip. They haven't released everything. More questions, more revealings, more was said that Bondi should never have said. It is bad, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Now, and that was the Biden administration was participating in one of the biggest human trafficking scandals. It's going to be a black eye in American history, and it's very, very unfortunate, of course. But again, none of these people are going to be held accountable. You know, we're constantly being critical of the Biden administration, but there's very little being done on all of this. And it's absolutely heartbreaking because we don't know where these kids are. But a lot of experts believe that these kids are either being sex trafficked or they're being used for slave labor. And you know, I know Democrats love slave labor. They've actually advocated for a lot of these illegal aliens to be placed on these farms to work for cheap labor. Democrats, again, going back to their roots of slavery, of course, but it's absolutely heartbreaking because there's a lot of great people over at HSI and they really want to help find these children. But unfortunately, they don't have the material to do just that because they were intentionally given false information.
So you say intentionally given false information. Between that, the improper vetting, these fraudulent addresses, do you think that this is something that can be more accurately categorized as a result of incompetence, or do you think there's some level of orchestration and intentionality behind it, whether it's, you know, labor, human trafficking, child trafficking, sex trafficking? What either, you know, you think, or what is your reporting or your sources led you to believe?
Well, Natalie, I have to say that this was intentional at this point because when you look back at who came forward to report this years ago, it's people like DHS whistleblower Aaron Stevenson, who said that he was well aware, and DHS was well aware under the Biden administration, that these children were being shuffled off to likely the cartels and they were being trafficked here. And he tried his very best to come out and speak out on this issue, but the mainstream media never covered it. And all of his efforts really kind of just fell. Nobody wanted to pick up the pieces and help him out. I know there was a couple of members in the GOP who did actively sound interested in this, but nobody did anything. This was all preventable. So we could sit here and say that, yes, maybe this was incompetency, but that's letting them off easy. I believe this was intentional.
Mike Davis.
Guys, it was 100% intentional, just like what I'm about to show you right here. Because I'm telling you guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. We are unsealing records. We are exposing all of the corruption, guys. Democrat billionaires secretly pumped $24 million into Smartmatic, which is the voting tabulators for the elections, guys, to fund lawsuits to muzzle news outlets. Check this out. Antonio Mujica secretly met with Reid Hoffman to secure funding for lawsuits aimed at silencing the networks and others investigating electronic voting machine safety. So I never want to hear it again from a leftist that these voting is secure, that there's no corruption in the voting and there's no cheating. No, it is 100% there. Billionaires funneled money to help have lawsuits, to prevent people from investigating, to prevent people from looking into any of the fraud voting that we have been exposing on this channel, on all these main like Fox, Newsmax, that have been reporting it, showing all the legal lawsuits and people that have been prosecuted for all the fraud when it comes to our election integrity. And now we find out, because of a recently unsealed court filing, that billionaires are keeping these lawsuits where they can't even talk about all the election integrity that just is not even there, guys. Oh my goodness. It's just mind-blowing. Because, guys, we're barely 100 days, a little bit over 100 days into the Trump administration, and look what's been revealed thus far. It's going to get worse before it gets better. We're going to expose more every single day, but I'm glad that we're exposing the fraud, the corruption. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
It's on the Ed Martin story. Breaking news today, the Senate is out of control, as usual, doing nothing. They always contrast the show horses, us in the Freedom Caucus, with the workhorses in the Senate and the House mainstream who get nothing done for this country. And so thank God for the show horses and the people that make some noise, like Mike Davis. Mike, bring us up to speed.
Yeah, Ed Martin is a good man. He's a good friend of mine. He's a good friend of Steve Bannon and yours, Dave, on the show. We have our weak Senate Republican sisters who just couldn't handle Ed Martin's political past, and so they were very dug in. I know the president is a huge fan of Ed Martin's. He pushed very, very hard, but sometimes these weak Republican sisters, you just can't get them to change the tampons. And so here we are. Ed Martin is now going to be utilized by President Trump in another high-impact job. He's not going away. And people are going to remember this. I'm hearing Judge Jeanine Pirro is being floated for D.C. U.S. Attorney now, and I think that would be phenomenal. So if you guys thought that if the ladies in the Senate Republican caucus thought Ed Martin was too tough for them, just wait till Judge Jeanine gets there.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, it's too good. I'm smiling. It's not good. But yeah, just give us 1 minute to go. We got Mike Lindell coming up, and he's in a good mood lately, so I want to share his smile. But these senators, give us a litany of the names of folks they did approve. By contrast, and then we got a guy who's fighting for the Constitution, American freedom on a key day like this. It's just stunning. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we need to. I think Tom Tillis should invest in Tom Tillis tampons, because I think he would sell a lot of those things. Look, I get along with Tom Tillis. He's a good guy. I think that we need to be smarter on our side about getting bold, fearless people into this position, into these positions. Remember, Senate Democrats put Rachel Rollins as the Boston U.S. Attorney under Joe Biden. She was a radical lunatic who got chased out of office very quickly. But the Senate Democrats didn't budge. They brought in Vice President Kamala Harris. to break the tie. I think our side needs to get a hell of a lot tougher than we are. They think that they're principled. They are the controlled opposition. I'll say this on your show. I'll probably get you in trouble. Senate Republicans are giant pussies. They need to stop being giant pussies and start understanding what we're up against. President Trump has 4 years and about a 30% chance of saving this country, and these cowards in the Senate Republican cowards, the ladies of the Senate, men and women, the ladies of the Senate need to grow a backbone.
Dang, guys, things are getting real, guys. Listen to this. So check it out. Ed Martin is moving to the DOJ to lead the weaponization working group. Trump put out a post that Ed Martin has done an amazing job as interim U.S. attorney and will be moving to the Department of Justice as the new director of the weaponization working group, working in the DOJ. Again, guys, let me know your thoughts, because this is the big news right now of what's happened, what's been revealed with Pam Bondi. And because I'm telling you guys, this came out literally 10 minutes ago. Or now 20 minutes ago. But this is huge. Let me know your thoughts. She was caught covertly on videotape talking about the Epstein files in a DC restaurant. Like, again, stuff like this, when it's this important, we don't know. And the problem with this is that what she said was not revealed prior to yesterday. She said this before we knew all this stuff that she told us recently. That's the problem. And this is just a short clip that I'm kind of showing you. And this is where, again, they're out to get Trump's team any way they can. That's what I'm seeing. But you still got to protect yourself. Don't take the bait. Peter Ortiz, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show Peter some love in the chat. He said, what's the big deal? It was released publicly. Also, someone tried to pass off an AI picture of Pam. Yeah, they are out to get her big time. They're out to get all of them, guys. But again, too, just because they're out to get them doesn't mean that they take the bait. On the flip side of it, guys, this is so amazing. Trump is kicking butt, changing the entire world spectrum when it comes to our trade agreements. Listen to this.
Americans had waited. President Trump scoring his first trade deal since Liberation Day with the United Kingdom, and teasing more countries to follow as he fights for a fairer playing field in the global market. 47 charming the bloody socks off the Brits while in the Oval, and even made them laugh at his jokes about the Democrats.
With this deal, the UK joins the United States in affirming that reciprocity and fairness is an essential and vital principle of international trade.
This is a really fantastic, historic day in which we can announce this deal between our two great countries.
The Democrats are fighting it only because they want to fight. They have Trump derangement syndrome. Senator Schumer's become a Palestinian. Buttigieg, who has no clue, he drives to work on his bicycle with his, in all fairness, with his husband on the back, which is a nice, loving relationship.
Oh my God.
Trump
but
is such
a win
a
for America is a blow to the liberals who are rooting for 47 to fail. The press wasting no time to whine about the deal.
Does it live up to the hype we just heard from the president?
The answer to that is obviously not at all. I might have thought it was a trade deal on fertilizer because there was a bit of that.
This deal between the two countries is not actually going to be majorly significant.
I mean, it sounds like this is
You could not make this stuff up, guys. No matter what Trump does, he's the bad guy. No matter what he does, the left will say the opposite. It is blowing my mind. We're getting billions of dollars more in revenue. We're literally lowering our tariffs going into the UK, and farmers can now sell more into the UK. We're literally raising the tariffs coming into the United States from the UK, and yet it's not good enough. What is going on with these Democrats, guys? It is blowing my mind. What's new? Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. He said, I missed that pit bull Matt Gaetz. Me too. I wish he was back in there. Y'all show what's new some love in the chat for the super chat. And if you don't mind, guys, if you appreciate this, If you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support.
Marginal deal, and that it's not that big of a deal.
Wow.
And the successes.
No, and if you're rooting against this, you're rooting against the country, because the next president, whether it's a Republican or Democrat, they're going to keep these deals. Yeah. They're going to tinker with them, but we're moving towards deglobalization and reindustrialization, and he's setting us up on a great course. They have to stop doubting this guy. He comes in, he does the Panama deal. China's not there anymore. He does the mineral deal with Ukraine. He's getting hostages back. That deal did a deal with Mexico to have troops on the southern border to stop all the migration. So he's already on a roll. And the guys that are doing this are businessmen. They've been doing this their whole lives. They're in currency markets. They're investors. They're risk takers. Lutnick, Besant, Donald Trump. They love it. They're having a great time. So I would stop doubting them. We basically broke down the door with the UK. We have full access to their automobile markets. Our agricultural sector won, our tech sector won, our automobile sector won, and we kept some protective tariffs on our key industries, which is a good thing. And you can kind of see the contours of this new trade alliance shaping up. The Indians just did a deal with the British. We're about to do a deal with India, South Korea, Japan, Israel, Australia. It's an exciting time to be alive. And why do you not believe me when I say that? You don't think I want to talk about tariffs for the rest of my career?
No. Only Trump can make tariffs interesting. You know what I find interesting, Dana?
Guys, I have to say this, guys. The reason that Judge Jeanine Pirro is not there is because of this huge news. President Trump appoints Judge Jeanine Pirro as interim U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. Thank God. Finally got another pit bull in there that fights for the patriotism, fights for MAGA, puts America first, baby. This is what I'm talking about, guys. I'm so excited for this. If you are, let me know your thoughts in the comments, because Trump needs these pit bulls to fight all the deep state.
Let me look for something interesting.
I could wing it. It is.
Oh, okay.
Buttigieg.
I feel like that was funny. That was funny. He knows how to do the double entendre. It could mean anything. But no, you know what's interesting? I said this before, that like he almost sets the Democrats up so they focus on the hard work up front and not the payoff. It's like they interview the guy while he's moving the couch up the stairs and never look at him when he's sitting on the couch enjoying it. And the same thing is they looked at the hard work of the trades and never thought that they were going to pay off. And they did.
And there, in some ways, like in regards to China, they could end up being right. Right? Like you could see, especially for small and medium-sized businesses right now, like big businesses might be able to absorb all of this, but with all of this stuff hanging out there in the Pacific, they might be right eventually on that. But in the meantime, you do have a deal like this, which is great. So they're our closest ally. We always beat them, right? But I also think like they did leave out the digital services tax, and they said they're going to deal with that separately. I think that needs to be dealt with. Yeah. In addition to that, they need to say to the Europeans, enough going after our tech companies. Just because you are so jealous, you cannot innovate and come up with your own technology and social media, doesn't mean you should try to attack their business models and try to basically raise money to pay for their social welfare programs on the backs of our tech companies that are providing services to them.
Digital services. I do it yearly.
Can I add one other thing? And that's that the China thing, maybe that gets worked out. But in the meantime, Congress is going forward with this tax bill. And yet again today, there's a suggestion that the Republicans would raise taxes. And I don't think that's a great idea. I don't think it's good for the economy. And I think it's bound for failure.
You know, Kennedy, whenever Trump does something, the Dems always say they're for it, but they hate the process. Like, they're Doge, it's like, oh yeah, we hate wasted fraud, but this process is crazy. Oh, we hate illegal immigrant criminals in America, but we hate the process. Now they're going to say, we love trade deals, but we hate the process.
Yes, but they actually hate the trade deals as well, because the process comes with Trump. And and it's the thing that drives them absolutely crazy. And it's so myopic because it is impossible for them to see the bigger picture. You know, and it's like you hear Democrat after Democrat going on show after show, having this pointless and meaningless postmortem about why they lost the election. This is why. Because if your party can get behind ideas, then you can divorce yourselves from whoever the messenger is. Right now, it's Trump. It's going to be Trump for the next 3.5 3.5 years or the next 300 years, depending on who you believe. If you ask The View, he's never going to leave and he's going to create a constitutional crisis. If you ask him, he's going to say, yeah, I'm not going to run for a third term. I can't, so I'm probably not going to do it. It's going to be Marco or JD, blah, blah, blah. But they cannot get past that. And they have to be able to see what the country is going to be like in the next 3.5 years. And what is shocking to me, what they don't realize is Americans may be hurting right now. The markets are rebounding and they are starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel, because if the world is reorganized the way that Jesse just laid out, that is going to be a gift for the country and for successive administrations. And they better start thinking about that post-Trump world and what the trade is going to look like and how they can play it to their advantage. Yeah. But their myopia makes
guys, no matter what, in 2028, Trump is going to have so much wins. The economy, what I'm about to show you next, guys, is huge. It's amazing because, again, when it comes to the Democrats, no effort inside to cut spending. But finally, what I'm about to show you is so amazing. Finally, 92% of the national debt has been slowed down in terms of spending with all the Trump cuts, guys. It is beautiful.
Capable of doing that.
Smart.
They live in the country of myopia.
Will you scribble that?
Guys, let me tell you this. Every single time that we move closer to a balanced budget, just remember right here, this was posted by the GOP, Trump has slowed national debt growth by 92%. A huge, huge win. Is it still growing? Yes. But if the economy grows, if they continue to cut spending, fraud, waste, and abuse, we'll start paying off the debt, start giving back to the taxpayers, and America will be winning like never before. Peter Ortiz, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. He said, I love how people say Pam is not doing her job. Last week, 200 plus pedophiles and 75 more known terrorists were arrested, not gang members. I love it. Let's go. And Marilee Williams gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. I love it. Guys, y'all show Marilee Williams and Peter Ortiz some love in the chat. I love it. Guys, let me tell you this. What we're reporting is what they're saying. Do I think that on this right here, do I think that Pam Bondi was having a dinner or a lunch with a complete stranger? No. But is that person a complete stranger to, say, the administration or the DOJ? Could be. We just know what's being reported right now, guys. And this is, again, you're seeing it here first, that Attorney General Pam Bondi was covertly recorded on April 20th, revealing previously undisclosed information about the Epstein files. So let me know your thoughts, guys. Again, the more that we dig into this, I want to see the Epstein files released. We know there's a lot that they're going through, but more importantly, we have to make sure that Americans are put first and they're safe. Because right now, Trump's kicking butt right now, guys. Right now, with what you're about to see, nobody thought this was possible. But this is 100% America winning. Check it out.
It's just been a deal that we thought, very complicated. It became very simple. It's opening up the country that we really didn't have the kind of access to. You know, they've been working on this deal for 25 years. And we got it done, and we got it done. Really, it's going to be great for both countries.
Finally, is what we've all been waiting for. President Trump inks his very first full and comprehensive trade agreement. It's the United Kingdom, and it's the first of what he promises will be many major deals to follow. The deal comes with just 2 months remaining on the president's reciprocal tariff pause. The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland is America's largest single trading partner, and the president has made it very clear, if you want access to the world's largest economy, come deal on America's terms.
Boom.
Deals with India and Israel are said to be close, but the EU, not so much. The European Union rattling sabers, threatening to slap tariffs on American cars, jets, planes, even whiskey, bourbon. How dare you, if President Trump will not come to the table. the tone for me, let's do qualitative, Liz, and not quantitative to begin. Or you can talk about whatever you like, but the tone between Keir Starmer and President Donald Trump, he was joining by phone. It was one of camaraderie, of partnership, of a special relationship, talking about the 80-year anniversary of the end of the war and Winston Churchill. And that was what kind of initially you take away from what was quite joyous in the Oval.
It was very cheerful. And to Trump's point, this negotiation or discussion has been going on for a quarter of a century. I mean, it's amazing. Biden very much wanted to do a trade deal with the UK, couldn't get it done. So I think the fact that they accomplished this in record short order, let's remember that most trade deals take years to accomplish. This is a major achievement. And I think they needed it. They needed to show the American public that the tariffs were going to produce something valuable. They did produce something valuable. We're going to have more exports of different kinds of products going to the UK, opening up a country that has been, for all that it's great ties with the U.S., resistant, particularly to U.S. agriculture. And I was really struck by Brooke Rollins' incredible excitement about exponentially increased shipments of beef, which I think means actually we don't ship much at all, but at least we have now a market for that. And our farmers are very worried about tariffs. This is a very good day for them.
Yes.
I tend to agree a little bit, Dagan. If you don't mind if I jump in, I was a little worried. I'm not going to lie. I'll put myself out there. This morning, I was like, oh no, it's the UK. I was like, I think the market wanted India or Japan or South Korea. We have a surplus with the UK. Technically, Howard Lutnick is saying it's even if you take out gold. I was like, how much is the market really going to be able to sift through this as a framework? Is this going to be able to give us anything to glean from future trade deals?
Guys, what I love is that everybody said it was impossible. Everybody said it couldn't be done. Aren't you so thankful that we're finally getting Trump? And it's, guys, we're in May. He just got into presidency 3 months ago. He's making things happen. If you appreciate it, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, I am so thankful that we're finally seeing that. Look, Trump was right. He's making deals. Art of the deal, baby.
Want something a little bit better, and frankly, I'm pleasantly surprised. I think, to your point, Dagan, there was some positivity in the Oval Office, great conversations between the president and the prime minister, and here's sort of my key takeaway, and maybe at least today this is also what the markets are thinking. What matters is that this shows that Trump wants a deal. He's willing to do what it takes to get deals done, and he is doing them. This is a direction of travel, right? So this is one in, we hope, hundreds. But again, how many others can we now fast track? What does this now tell us about how we think about allied nations versus unallied nations, and can we fast track deals with allied nations? So again, for me, this was a little bit surprising in a good way about we can glean something more from this than I originally thought about a framework and about that direction of travel at which we're going.
And I'd like to build on that, just looking at some of the details, if that's okay.
I was just going to bring up the details, but go ahead.
No,
yep.
you got
you got them, girl.
Okay.
Hit it.
Well, so what I was impressed about this deal particularly with was what you're talking about, Taylor, the negotiation that happened within it. And I think it's important because it sets up the template for other countries to say those tariffs that were on that gruesome list that nobody liked, those were a starting point, but they can come down if we talk to you. All the particulars of every country are very different, and so those negotiations will be individualized, but it's these non-tariff barriers that they wanted to go after, and that's what they're doing here. So Lutnick actually, believe it or not, sort of laid out the details. He talked about a 10% tariff overall, and remember, we were charging a 3.4% tariff, so that went up for the UK. Their tariff came down from 5.1% to 1.8%. The agricultural exports that will be doing that new business is going to bring in $5 billion. The tariff revenue is going to bring in $6 billion in revenues. And so I think what he's trying to show here is that what he said the other day about us being the store. If you come shop at our store and you give us more business, we'll give you more favorable terms, and you're going to want to do more business here. If he can get every allied country to shop a little bit more at the store, I actually think that's going to be very impactful. And when you get those allied countries to come to the table and create those deals, then you really start boxing in China. And he said this about China, which I think was really important. He said the China tariffs are 145%. They can't go any higher. So you know they're going down.
Guys, let me tell you this. The dream team is real. Adding in Judge Jeanine Pirro as an interim U.S. attorney for D.C. is huge. We've seen her, guys. She don't play around. What a huge pit bull. But what I love, too, is what you're about to see next, because they do not pull any punches. Our boy Kash Patel is on Capitol Hill speaking with congresswomen and men in the Appropriations Committee. And what I love, they're trying to bait him. He doesn't take it and calls him out 100%. Guys, enjoy this.
Gang cases, 3,000 cases against violent
well, that's not my question. We know that you...
Well, you asked if I was weaponizing the FBI, and I am not. I'm giving you the hard, concrete examples of the men and women putting handcuffs on bad people, doing harm to our children and innocent Americans. I do not see weaponization.
You have placed on leave FBI employees responsible for the investigation of January 6th. That sounds political to me.
I have not placed anyone on leave who has not violated their ethical obligation or their oath to the Constitution.
So if they were investigating January 6th, you believe they were violating an ethical obligation?
Nope. I think the common theme here is you putting words in my mouth, and I'm not going to tolerate it. Nor will the men and women of the FBI.
Well, you did place on leave an analyst responsible for investigating Russia's meddling in the 2016 election. Is that politicization? Is that retribution?
No, not if she broke the law or the ethical guidelines. I don't know which case you're talking about, but that's the standard. And we will hold ourselves inwardly accountable. And we will not be strayed from our mission because people think we are politicizing the Bureau. If you want to talk about someone who was attacked by a weaponized Bureau, you're looking at him. And now he's the director of the FBI and he's cleaning it up.
Well, I would just say to everyone who's listening that the FBI...
Bro, mic drop with Kash Patel. He said, look, you want to talk about someone who's been politicized? He said, now look, he's the director of the FBI, baby. Let's go. Such a good clip, guys. The Light of Life. Welcome to the True Life News family. Y'all showed the Light Life some love in the chat.
FBI needs to be focused on its mission to keep the entire country safe. It should not be weaponized for partisan political gain. Thank you.
We are.
Boom. Guys, let me show you this, guys. It's happening, guys. They're cleaning house big time. Guess who was just escorted out of the FEMA headquarters? Trump FEMA administrator Cameron Hamilton escorted out of the HQ after telling lawmakers he opposes dismantling FEMA. Well, guess what? You're out of here. They're giving it back to the states. We're going to put America back on track. I want you to listen to this, guys, because again, too, I love the pit bulls that come out. They are calling everybody out, guys, on both sides, the rhinos and the Democrats. Check this out.
Since I've got a few minutes, Mr. Chairman, I want to move to another topic. Reconciliation, which you're very familiar with. And thank you for all your contributions to it, by the way, as we put together the bill. The American people may be a little confused about what reconciliation means. As you know, Mr. President, the reconciliation bill is just a budget bill. That's all it is. It deals with spending of taxpayer money. And why is it important? Well, first, it's going to be important to try to lower the prices that are gutting the American people like a fish. Biden's inflation was simply pernicious. I don't know of another word for it. It got to the point, I don't know about in your state, but in my state, people shouldn't have to sell blood plasma to be able to go to the grocery store. They shouldn't. And make no mistake, we all know this, those high prices were man-made.
Yep.
And again, no disrespect, but that man's name was Joe Biden. And that's true. The first goal of our reconciliation bill is to try to help get those prices down. Now, how we're going to do that? Number one, we're going to reduce government spending. Why does that matter? Well, how did we get the inflation? We got the inflation because President Biden's favorite form of spending was more. I said many times, if the White House during the President Biden's term had discovered life on Mars, they would have sent it money immediately. And it was all this money that they injected into the economy, trillions of dollars, the Inflation Reduction Act and the American Rescue Plan. They spent all this money, you had all this money that came into the economy, chasing too few goods, created demand, supply constant, and we had inflation. So we're going to try to get those prices down, we meaning this Congress, by reducing the government spending, which will reduce the stimulus to the economy, which if we do it right ought to lower interest rates. That's step one that we're going to try to achieve in reconciliation. The second part of reconciliation, we're going to continue to try to reduce the rules and regulations. All these rules and regulations have a price. And when you're adding $2 trillion in costs that fall on the backs of businesswomen and businessmen, to stay in business, they've got to pass the costs of all those rules and regulations on to the consumer. So if we can get rid of some of these rules and regulations, like we're going to do in a few minutes when we vote on the rule to get rid of the Biden rule I just talked about, if we can reduce the costs and regulations, goods and services will cost less. The third thing we're going to try to do in reconciliation, or our budget bill, if you that term, is redesign the tax code so that it looks like somebody designed it on purpose. Since 1990, GDP growth in America has been 2% a year. Now that's just not acceptable. When 2.5% now GDP growth, we're so happy we want to go have a toga party. 2.5% is not acceptable. We've got to start growing again at a normal rate. Used to be normal for America, 3%. Now how are we going to do that? We're going to do that by encouraging businesswomen and businessmen to invest in their businesses and grow their businesses and hire more people.
Yes.
And that is that wages will go up, and that way people will be making more money, so they'll be able to afford this inflation that President Biden left with us. So the first goal of reconciliation is to try to reduce these prices, to try to kill inflation dead. But there's a second, equally, some would say more important reason. As you well know, Mr. President, in 2017, this Congress, during President Trump's first term, passed the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. We cut taxes by $4.3 trillion. And boy, did it, the economy took off like a ship. Within a year, median household income in America had gone up $4,400. And people at the lower end of the wage scale enjoyed more tax benefits and money in their pocket than people at the other end. That's why I have to laugh when my Democratic colleagues say, well, you know, this was for the rich. No. All you have to do is look at the data. Unless you do your research on Twitter, you know that at the lower end of the wage scale more than those at the upper end. That's the good news. The bad news is that those tax cuts expire at the end of this year. So we're going to extend them and make them permanent in our reconciliation bill. And if we don't, if we're going to have a $4.3 trillion tax increase on the American people, $4.3 trillion. I want you to think about that, Mr. President, when some of our colleagues to throw up roadblocks to our reconciliation bill. In effect, what they're saying is they want to raise taxes on the American people by $4.3 trillion. That's the most important thing we'll do in our reconciliation bill. It's not the only important thing, as I mentioned, but it's clearly the most important thing. If we raise taxes right now, $4.3 trillion on the American people. This economy will begin a journey to the center of the earth. We cannot let it happen. Now, I don't want to minimize the role that reconciliation will play in lowering prices and lowering inflation. That's important. But worse than inflation is depression. And if we don't extend these tax cuts and make them permanent, we're going to be and that's really what the reconciliation bill is all about.
Guys, I'm telling you, like, this is good stuff, guys. Look at this, guys. Officially, Ukrainian parliament unanimously signs President Trump's mineral deal, which we knew they would, guys. There's some people that are on both sides of it. You let me know where you're at. You got Marjorie Taylor Greene, who said we shouldn't have done it. You got Trump, who said it's a big win. I tend to, when it comes to the business aspects of things, I tend to lean on the business side. One of the biggest accomplishments, guys, look at this. Republicans are tough on Iran. Strikes on over 1,000 Houthi targets, restoring freedom of navigation and global shipping routes, implemented maximum pressure to deter Iran. Well, guess what? Under Democrats, they lifted sanctions on Iran, removed Houthis from the list of foreign terror organizations, appeasement instead of deterrence. Why are we it's like polar opposite right now, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, MAGA or progressive? Because listen to this. The lawfare is coming full circle against the Democrats, but it's not because they're just making stuff up. It's because they did it to Trump, and then now Trump's like, well, hey, let's just look. Let's just look at their stuff. Watch this.
George Washington law professor, Fox News contributor. Jonathan, how strong of a legal footing does the administration have here with non-citizens?
Well, the administration has a very powerful law at their discretion. The Secretary of State is allowed to deny a visa if he has a reasonable basis to believe that an individual may undermine national security interests. So there's a lot of verbiage in there that gives a fair amount of deference. But also these universities have authority. You know, this has never been about a paucity of authority. It's about a lack of courage. For years, faculty and administrators simply turned over our campuses to the most radical elements. You had faculty that didn't want to be tagged, canceled, fired. Many of the protesters, many of the professors who are speaking out today have been silent for the last decade as their colleagues were pursued and fired. But now it's come to this. They're watching what are scenes of anarchy. What happened at Columbia again is that these students felt that they were entitled to take over a library, to essentially displace Columbia students. And then amazingly, they complained that they weren't being allowed out so they could avoid arrest.
Oh, I love that. They had to show their ID on the way out. So at least Columbia believes in border enforcement. So Jonathan, on another story, you were with us, I think, the night we broke the news that there was a potential criminal referral or a letter about New York Attorney General Letitia James over alleged mortgage fraud. And tonight we have more news. Fox has confirmed that the Justice Department has officially opened up a criminal investigation into James's real estate transactions. Jonathan, what of this?
Well, Laura, as you know, the key here is that once you start that federal investigation, there's a lot of people and a lot of powers that can be brought to bear. This is what James herself did. You get an arguably credible basis for an investigation, and then you just look at everything. And so the danger for James is that the Department of Justice doesn't just focus on the initial criminality that's been alleged. If they see other possible criminality, they're allowed to pursue that. And so she has a great deal to be worried about as they go through these records.
And just about 20 minutes ago, she was speaking. She didn't address the investigation itself, but she did attack the administration. Watch.
Either we fight for our democracy, my friends, or we lose it.
Wow.
It's tyranny or oligarchy. And I refuse to accept either option.
Guys, it's tyranny and oligarchy whenever you get caught doing mortgage fraud, voter fraud, when you get caught doing the very thing that you were trying to put somebody else in the president or former president in jail. Like, this is so insane, guys. So asinine because, again, too, they also, remember, they literally passed it in the law that the taxpayers of New York are going to pay for her legal cost against the DOJ. Is this not crazy?
So, and I will not sit idly by and allow them to trample on your rights. You elected me to stand up and defend the Constitution and the rule of law, not to protect and defend a king.
Wow.
She did go on to say that the allegations apparently are baseless, so she addressed that after that. But yeah, she's worried, clearly. So she's trying to, saying this is all political.
Yeah, and amplifying your message doesn't improve it. And I think part of the problem here is that what her team is saying is really quite laughable. You know, her lawyer and her team came out today and said, you know, this is all revenge because Trump campaigned on pursuing his opponents. James ran for her office based on a pledge to bag Trump.
Yes, to get
anything.
Trump.
She didn't even bother to state the crime. She just said, I'll find something and fill that blank in later.
Guys, I want to, because she did that, she literally ran on that, I want to see her butt in jail. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
And so it's just really otherworldly to hear her team now making that same argument. But she better be worried that these investigators might apply the Letitia James standard, because her view was anything filed under your name is yours, and you are responsible, and any contradictions apply against you.
All right, Jonathan, as always, thank you so much.
Guys, I love it, guys. It's like it's all coming full circle. Things like this. Look, FBI officially opens criminal probe into New York Attorney General Letitia James mortgage fraud. This is beautiful. Why? It's just the facts. It's what she did. She broke the law. She was going after Trump for trying to do it, or not trying to do it, but for accusing him of doing it when she has literally actually done it. You can't get past that, guys. She actually did it. And what I love is that Trump is over here making these golden age deals. You got Bernie Sanders over here who literally said, you think I should wait on a line at United? No apologies for my private jets. The guy who is literally saying, I'm here to fight against the oligarchy, is literally saying that I'm going to take a private jet when I do my rallies because that's how it's done. I'm not going to wait in line at United because that's not how we've done it. Such big hypocrites, guys. You cannot make this up. Want to say thank you to everybody, guys, who is watching, to all of our subscribers and viewers. We could not thank you enough for your support. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button, joining our family here at TrueLife News. We want you here, guys. We are so thankful. We're growing this community. We're getting the truth out. We're showing all the breaking news, no matter where it comes from. We are showing you the truth, everybody. And then you get to decide, and with all the context, what you believe. But want to say thank you to everybody that is a member of the channel. If you don't mind doing us a huge favor, hitting that thumbs up like button, really appreciate it. And thank you to everybody that's given tonight. Remember, on the 22nd of every single month, your guy here is donating live on stream to local charities. And we do it. We're transparent with it, guys. When you donate, when you're a member, when you donate, that's where the money goes. And we're giving more and more every single month with your support. I want to give some love to Peter Ortiz. What's new? Marilee Williams, The Light Live. Guys, show them some love in the chat. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much for liking and sharing these videos. We're here to serve you guys, always with the truth. We love you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.